Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're reviewing.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. This episode being called "The Wolf and the Dragon." So yeah, it's interesting because I was reading articles the other day, and I was reading other people's reviews, which don't really matter because it's not the Superhero Hub, and they were saying last episode was disappointing.
What, the one where it went north?
Yeah.
That's cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm saying that was probably one of the best episodes, but I can't remember who it was, what establishment it was, but it's a pretty reputable one, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this episode kicked it up a gear from last week's disappointing one." I was like, "Oh, okay then." So yeah, there's the big meeting at the Dragon Pit between Cersei and Daenerys and stuff like that. I think the walk there was the cool bit. Obviously, you had Bran, even Podrick, and because their names were alike, Podrick and
true. But Bran ain't walking anywhere, is it?
yeah, and Tyrion kind of all together doing their thing and reminiscing on old times. And it's like, oh, I'm glad you're alive. Same. You had Brienne and the Hound. Like the Hound's pretty mellowed all the way, you know what I mean? It was kind of cordial with her, and they were talking about Arya and how she's still alive, and you know what I mean? She's a badass and she's doing it big, and they're kind of the little.
This is a big episode for payoff and fan service. Like a lot of moments and a lot of acknowledgements that fans have been talking about for a long time happened throughout the episode.
Like what?
Well, like the Hound and the Wall meeting again.
The mountain.
The mountain, that's what I meant. The Wall. Where'd I get the Wall? The Wall's something else. Someone might be. But yeah, the two of them meeting up again.
Yeah.
The Brienne and Jaime thing.
He kind of paired her off. That was interesting, and Cersei was just kind of looking stern. But yeah, that was interesting. He straight up paired her off, but I guess not, as we kind of get into the episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was the whole thing with Baelish, the whole reveal of the Jon Snow thing that we've known. It was a big moment. Even the ultimate end of it, of the dead and the White Walkers coming through the wall. There you go. The wall's in the show. That's what I was thinking about. It was a big payoff episode.
Yeah,
I guess set up as well.
The kind of Daenerys and Jon Snow thing that was kind of running since it was kind of hinted at last season finale. You had that going on, so you kind of had the reveal, and it just happens as Jon and Daenerys, or Aegon and Daenerys are getting carnal knowledge of each other. You had the kind of, I thought the best scene is when Bran kind of went back and saw their union. I thought that was pretty cool, and you hear what Lyanna said to Ned, which we kind of got a look at in the finale last season. The one thing that confused me about the wall is it's meant to be an ice dragon, and it's kind of pounding the wall and the wall falls. It's like if it was fire I'd get it, but whatever. I think I'm just nitpicking there. Yeah, so there's a kind of the meeting, and they kind of let out the wight they captured, and it dashes at them, and everyone kind of poos it, and then you've got I forget what do you know the cocky Greyjoy one?
Euron.
Yeah, that's his name, and you had him prang it, and then it turns out that was just a ruse, and that they've paid mercenaries to come over there, and the whole they're gonna scam everyone going north. I'm glad Baelish got killed. I love the whole surprise thing and stuff like that. Are you doing it big? The two sisters are reminiscing.
I've got to say, there was an interesting development, at least for me anyway. There was an interesting development with Cersei, in that Tyrion and Jaime both called her out.
Yeah.
And both times she didn't do it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that means. With Jaime, I get it, but with Tyrion, I found it interesting.
Yeah. I really, I couldn't call that one either because like the Mountain pretty much drew his blade and was good to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that definitely was an interesting one.
Because
Um,
Tyrion's the one, because there's a fair point to say that obviously long before the time that the show has been on air, but there was at least what, like 30 odd years before the show of them two being together, and she never tried to kill him before. But with all the stuff that's gone down, all the banging on about her blaming for the death of their children and their father, and her father, like, why wouldn't she do it?
uh, I don't think it quite works out. The way you've got to look at it, I think with Jaime, I think she thinks she's got complete control over him and he'll come running back. And I think Tyrion, that was like a battle strategy to completely like, you know what I mean, to win the war. Because as she said, she needed like people to believe in the truth so she could eventually like scam them over, which is like going to be a massive backfire anyway. It's like that was a real dumb strategy. So yeah. I thought it was a good finale. We had like a main character death with Baelish. I think he kind of had his he kind of came that you know what I mean. He was just there and he was kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Not in the sense of like that he's a bad character and is like annoying. It's like he kind of served ultimately, no longer served a purpose. So I'm glad it
Yeah,
is.
I will say, as much as I think we talked before, I did think he'd live. I thought, the whole cockroach theory of they live to the end, they find a way to survive. I did think it would make it, but I do think it's a fair point to make that he's getting further from the Iron Throne. Like, there's no logistical way you think he's going to get on the throne now, and so if there's not, then really, yeah, what is the point of keeping him around, especially with Ned Stark's wife, whatever, Catelyn, without the name on it, with
Yeah.
her being gone now. Yeah, I suppose it's the time for him to go. It's now.
Yeah. So that kind of sums up pretty much the big points that happened. The first episode of like the next season. I mean, it's like apparently 2 years away. Blah blah blah. But that first episode is going to be so sick. I'm really excited for it. Um,
2 years.
yeah, they've kind of.
Wow.
I guess it's going to take a lot to get the bits and pieces together, but yeah. Samwell and Bran's kind of there. I like their kind of chemistry. Like Samwell's probably one of my most favourite characters. Let's talk numbers. I'm gonna give it.
Oh,
See,
we forgot Theon's little moment as well.
that was good. That was kind of like in a way it didn't really make much sense. Like just because he
I
kind
thought,
of
yeah.
battered his jokes when the guy was kneeing him in the nuts, and
Mhm.
it was like nothing's happening, and it was like, huh? That was funny, but yeah, I don't know whether the guy's knocked out or dead, and like, but
I don't know. I get it as a hero moment for Theon. I get, he's making up for abandoning his sister and whatnot. But what I don't get is, like, as far as the show goes, what's the point in keeping his sister alive? Like, what's the long term gain in that? I don't see her as becoming like a big player in the show. Not
um,
really.
I think it's kind of like all the women like taking control of this and that. I mean, that's kind of what it is. I think they're gonna be the ones who are gonna take out Euron, so that's why that them two together are gonna be important.
Hmm. I would give it. See, I find it a difficult one to score. I don't.
That's what I mean. It kind of felt a little slow, if you know
Mhm.
what I mean. It was very talky. There was
I
some.
liked it. I liked a lot of the payoff, but I don't get why people are so negative on the last episode. I liked that a lot. I thought there was a lot of action. I thought, I'll give it an 8.
To me, it kind of felt there was so much talking. It felt like a season premiere as opposed to a finale, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Because it kind of confirmed pretty much there were no like shocks, if you know what I mean. It adds urgency because it's like you want Daenerys and Jon to get back so they can learn the truth, and obviously the walls falling. But there was no like apart from that, you know
Right,
what I
but
mean.
I think we talked about this before. This is what they do, isn't it, on Game of Thrones? Like the penultimate one is the more action-heavy episode.
Yeah. I'll give it. I'll give it a 9, because in a sense there were slow, if you know what I mean, but there were some real good bits. So yeah. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and you know this is a Superhero Hub. See you next episode.